Hey everybody, this is your boy Gabe Gold, and I want to talk today about being quiet because I'm in the library as usual. I'm in a place of study. Looks like I'm in a restaurant. It's because I'm in the cafe section of the library. So anyway, I want to talk about a slightly more accepted scientific viewpoint to manifestation. So when it comes to manifestation, you know the basics. It's like you want to visualize what you want, and you want to also feel that you're involved in the vision. You want to get all the sensations of being involved in the vision. Well, I realize there are at minimum two areas of the brain that are involved in manifestation. One is the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher thinking and making decisions. And then the other is the reticular formation, which is a bundle of nerves located and kind of almost wrapped around the brainstem. Now, they both are two ends of the evolutionary spectrum. So you have the prefrontal cortex, which is, the higher thought and man being able to make a decision and choose his own destiny and choose his own fate. And then you have the reticular formation, which is purely instinctual because it's wrapped around the brainstem. The brainstem represents and is responsible for, to a great degree, the instinctual part of human being. So basically, what you want to do in manifestation, or what happens in manifestation, is you visualize something. You choose to visualize something in manifestation with the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex, in many ways, I'm not saying this is absolutely 100% true, but it is associated with the third eye, and the reticular formation may, be more associated with, the lower chakras, the root and the sacral. So and you choose to visualize something with the prefrontal cortex, and then you engage your emotions into it, what you're essentially doing is programming your brain. That's basically what you're doing. Because the reticular formation is a bundle of nerves that actually connects to every area of the brain. And the reticular formation recognizes patterns that are imprinted onto it due to the emotion that you have. So it's like, because the reticular formation is the lower functions. When I say lower, not lesser, but lower functions of human beings, like emotions, instincts. When you imprint an emotion, when you feel when you can actually engage yourself in what you're visualizing with feeling, you activate the reticular formation. By activating the reticular formation is merely there to recognize patterns. It can recognize patterns. So when we talk about synchronicity, what we're doing is we're engaging the brain's ability to recognize patterns on a very basic, plain scientific level. So by being able to recognize patterns, by imprinting what pattern you want to see in your life, and then the reticular formation basically being programmed to recognize those patterns, you'll see those patterns showing up more in your life. Let's say you see, I remember, I'll give you a specific example. The first time I ever saw a Nissan Sentra was in 2004, and I was living in Georgia. And that was like the first car like that I'd ever seen. And I was like, wow, that's a really nice car. And after that point, I started seeing a whole bunch, I started noticing a whole bunch of cars like that. Well, in part, that's the reticular formation at work, according to my knowledge. I'm not an expert, but from what I have read about the reticular formation, in part, that's what it's there to do, recognize those patterns. But what we can do as human beings is we can choose from the prefrontal cortex. We can make a decision from the prefrontal cortex and visualize with the third eye, which is in many ways associated with the prefrontal cortex. We can choose to visualize a particular pattern that we want to experience in our lives. And then the reticular formation, which is say, up, there it is, up, there it is, up, there it is, up, there it is. And this can account for a certain percentage and a certain degree, a certain percentage of synchronicities that we might experience. But if we think about a person and then all of a sudden they call, that can't really be explained by what we call conventional science, but at least with regards to being able to recognize patterns and recognize certain words that pop out at us because we've visualized something and felt ourselves in the vision, that can be accounted for to some degree by this little more grounded, little more scientific viewpoint. So anyway, this is Gabe Gold, and that's all I want to say about that. Just getting into a little more anatomy and physiology, and that's it. All right, y'all. Peace out.